This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. We are the guardian of your First Amendment. And we also are very, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Wednesday morning. Stick around. Rodger Cook will be coming in about 10:30. And I'm going to give him the floor, and he's going to discuss what he's going to do. He's just going to lay it all out. And if we have time, he said he'd be more than happy to take some calls because he's very transparent. But Rodger will be here about 10:30. And as always, people, when I go crazy, don't blame Rodger Cook. They want to put me in with all these guys. Hey, I'm poor white trash. I may not deserve your vote, but Rodger Cook will be a great county board chairman. He'll stop and destroy this culture of corruption. So don't let them okey-dokie. Don't let them think that you're that stupid. They send these hit pieces out on Bob Romanik, and that's okay. Maybe I deserve them. Rodger Cook doesn't deserve them. He's a good man. Carl Officer, good man. But they want to link me, poor white trash. And I want to thank you guys, the St. Clair County Democratic Culture of Corruption, for making my name a household name. Poor white trash from the housing projects of Roosevelt Homes. And I'm on all these bastards' lips. So ratings are through the roof. Thank you, all you new listeners who have got those political hit pieces, got on the internet, saw who I was. Listen to the show and say how much you like it. Thank you guys. And hey, Sprague and Kern, thank you guys for helping my ratings. I sincerely appreciate that. Anyway, Rodger Cook will be with us. Carl Officer will probably stop by. I'm going to take care of my housekeeping. Then I'm coming after Kern and Mr. Haney, Tom Holbrook. I'm tired of this crap. Charlie Meyer will be with us tomorrow. He'll be our guest tomorrow, state representative from the 108th Legislative District. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and the Grim Reaper of Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for the best of all of our great stations. Listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. And now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Please like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. You can go to my personal Facebook page, Fans of the Grim Reaper, or Bob Romanik for State Representative. And as always, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook. Oh, here's one, the Pharaohs Motorcycle Club having their annual Western dance coming up November the 4th from 8 p.m. to 1 p.m. They're located at 8601 California Drive in Kaysville. Thank you guys very much. I'm not going to screw with on this date. Don't have enough time. Hey, I got a email and I'm really not honored because this is a bitch boy. Dustin Rhodes, you remember him. He was Gold Dust, a little gay guy. He says he's waiting in his back Hollywood back lot, and I think he does a lot on the back lot, if you know what I mean. He says, I can't wait for the FCC to penetrate your station, and you will never forget the name Dustin Rhodes. No, you're right. We'll never forget. Dustin Rhodes? Are you the guy that had the gay experience in the bathhouse? And you want to talk about penetration? You better watch what you say, Dustin. This is the Razzler that's a friend of Herbie the Hemorrhoid Simmons, and he's a professional wrestler or an actor, whatever the hell you call it. but I've been on his nerves. Dustin Rhodes, hey, your mother, well, we won't even go there, Dustin, but Gold Dust. Well, and I got to say, I have to say this, if I can find it. I had a nice gay man. I guess he's nice. He listens all the time, so I guess he's okay. Hell, I can't find it now, but he asked me, he said, oh, here it is. He says, I listen to your program, and I stand up for what you believe in, Bob, but today I heard the word faggot boy. He says, I happen to be gay, and I'm one of your biggest fans. I'm also a 12-year veteran of the United States Army Infantry. For that, Brandon, I say I salute you and thank you for your service. He says, I'm not offended, and I'm not a crane liberal who is going to whine and bitch about your choice of using the word faggot or faggot boy. I'm just asking you to reconsider the word faggot. Here's what I say. Here's what I say, Brandon, and I do salute you for your service, and I want to apologize. I want to apologize to the proud gay community, and I mean that. You know, they're decent people. And you've heard me say, I don't give a damn what anybody does in the privacy of their home. But to me personally, a faggot is someone, probably gay, not a proud gay person, who trolls the peep shows, you know, looking for sleazy, greasy sex in a porn shop, you know, a nasty, dirty piece of degenerative crap. That's what I say a faggot is. Now, it may be gay, but it's just a nasty piece of crap. And speaking of nasty pieces of crap, Mark, the big faggot Kern, why don't you give me a call, buddy? Why don't you give me a call? And you know why I use the word faggot boy, big faggot boy, Kern. You know why I do that. And by the way, Kern, what are you and your wife, what are your wife doing? You and your wife doing tonight? As maybe you do every night. What's one of your hobbies?
Yes, we were swinging, just a swinging.
Yeah, Kern. Yeah, you're swinging all right. You must have a big swing out there, and that big swing may go in other directions, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. But Mark, the big faggot boy Kern. I'm not talking about the proud the proud gay community or the proud gay black community. I'm talking about faggot boy, that piece of crap, that low-life piece of crap. Got an email here. Harry Truman said, you can't get rich in politics unless you're a crook. How true is that, Kern and Sprague, you no-count pieces of crap? I've got here, there's an $8.1 million plan for the East St. Louis riverfront. You guys know I've been talking about that. Roger Cook has, Carl has for the last 2 or 3 years. Now, all of a sudden, they make this big announcement a week before the election. And all they're doing, people are going to put some streets, going to clean up some streets down there. But they want to think that we're all stupid. Everything's happening now. They're having the expungement of all records. They're developing the riverfront. How desperate are these no-good son of a bitches a week before the election? We found you out. You know, they're playing politics with our taxpayers' money. You know, they had a political hit piece sit out on me and Trump. It was sent down to East St. Louis, primarily black Democratic community. They don't send it up to the white part of the county. These guys are just complete racist, no-good son of a bitches. But see, they don't just dislike black people. These bastards dislike white people. They dislike all, unless you're one of their boys. They don't like either Democrats or Republicans. And let's not forget them, people, on November the 8th. Got here in the News Democrat, meet the candidates for state and state house representatives. It's got Bob Romanik, radio talk show host. LaToya Greenwood says she's running, and this is all this political jargon, so she can bring a strong voice to Springfield, and it goes on, and she wants to help improve the quality of life in our community. Well, who doesn't? She wants to bring a strong job growth back. Well, who doesn't? This is all out of the political playbook. Opportunity for our children and make government more accessible. What do you mean opportunity for your children? Your dad has screwed up School District 189. You suck out $100,000 and you don't even put your kids in School District 189. And you're going to vote for Madigan's 33% increase? Are you nuts? Here's what Bob Romanik said. Why are you running? to truly bring back our government to the people who have been betrayed by our sleazy, greasy politicians. Story's over. I'm not going to give you that political crap. Then she puts on about the state budget. They ought to work together. I say, let's cut all the elected politicians' salary in half and take away all the pensions, all the benefits from the part-time elected officials all throughout the state. Cut wasteful spending on politicians and their family and political friends. That's what I've had to say. I'm not going to give you all that political jargon because that's bull crap, and everybody knows it is. Talk about Mr. Haney, Tom Holbrook. Tom Holbrook, Mr. Haney. Everybody knows Tom Holbrook, Mr. Haney. He sits there and lies. Now all of a sudden they've pulled out 2 of the voting machines, says last night. Well, there was a problem. There's been a problem for 2 or 3 weeks. How many votes were stolen, Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook? Can you tell me that?
Oh, just what I needed, Mr. Haney.
There you are, with my compliments, free and clear. A genuine South American rubber plant.
Why, thank you, Mr. Haney. That's very beautiful.
We haven't got anything to put it in.
You don't have a pot to put it in?
No, but we can be sure you've got one on your truck.
That's a genuine Grecian urn. It's priceless.
How much for the priceless urn?
$3.95.
I'm not buying it.
But, darling, we need a pot for the plant.
Oh, don't you see what he's doing? He's giving us the plant, so we'll have to buy the pot.
Mr. Douglas, if you think I come here for that purpose, you can have the pot.
Oh, wait a minute.
Something wrong?
What about the plant?
I can let you have it for $3.95.
You gave us that.
Yeah, but you exchanged it for the pot.
I did not. You...
Darling, buy the pot.
Get on your truck. Here's your money.
Yeah, Mr. Haney, Tom, get on your truck and ride out of town, you no good son of a bitch. And I got to ask, Tom Holbrook, there's been some nasty, salacious, dirty, nasty allegation by someone who used to live with you, Derek Wallace, who has alleged that you are a pedophile. He's alleged and says if it's not true, he's challenging you to sue him. Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook, I've read all that nasty crap on the internet, and I will not put on the air who Tom Holbrook has allegedly abused, but the allegation is a family member, and out of respect for that person, her name will not be revealed, although it's revealed in the public domain on the worldwide internet web. Tom Holbrook, this man, Derek Wallace, has put out some stuff on you on the internet that is salacious. And I ask you personally, if it's not true, why? Why are you not filing suit? He's challenging you to file suit. I'd like both of you to come in and take a polygraph test. Now, Tom Holbrook, it's allegations at this point. Look at Kern, the big boy faggot, and Bob Romanik's the bad guy? Come on, guys. Come out of those closets if you know what I mean, and I think you do. All those nasty allegations, Tom Holbrook, what are you going to do about it? And you're part of the Democratic culture of corruption, and Bob Romanik's the bad guy? You know, it's amazing. The only platform that the Democrats in St. Clair County have is me, Bob Romanik, poor white trash from the Roosevelt homes of East St. Louis. I have upset their political corrupt apple cart, and they're now afraid that they'll lose all their corrupt power. Every hit piece that comes out, Roger Cook, Carl Officer, Bob Romanik's on it. Hey, I'm nobody from the housing projects. These guys got to be worried. They're talking about something I did 20 years ago. Why don't they talk about what they haven't done for the last 30, 40 years? And I'm not a perfect person. You guys know that. You know, Sprague and Kern, they've made millions of dollars off the backs of the taxpayers. They've never, you guys have never missed a meal. You guys have never went to bed hungry. You've never been embarrassed because you didn't have decent clothes. But I have, and many, many other people out there that came up the hard way have and still do all throughout this county because of your lack of leadership, because of your political corruption. There's going to be November the 8th, a political revolution. A revolution against all your corrupt acts and all your greed. The St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption. Isn't it something, people? They have nothing to say but about Bob Romanik. It's amazing. It's amazing. Think about it. They're giving all these political ploys out a week or two before the election. They've spent more money this election than they have the last 30 years in all the elections combined. They tell me that Madigan sent another $100,000 for hit pieces down on me because let me tell you good people one thing. If I'm elected state representative, there'll never be a tax increase. I'll never vote for a tax increase. I'll vote to cut everybody's salary up there in Springfield, all these part-time positions. I will not take any money. And from the House floor, I will denounce Madigan, that no-good piece of crap. And I've talked to a lot of Democrats that say, Bob, keep going, because even the Democrats know Madigan's a piece of crap. Even the Democrats in St. Clair County know that Mark, the big faggot boy, Kern, and Bob, I'd rather piss in my diaper. Sprague, two ass-wipe, no good son of a bitches. And you know what we've done, people, here on the radio? We've exposed them, we've embarrassed them, we've humiliated them. They can never walk with their heads high. We've exposed them for what they are, and I think you good people all throughout this county know. And again, I'm far from being perfect, but I'll be your perfect warrior in Springfield. And if you don't think I'm worthy of your vote, I understand. But Rodger Cook, Carl Officer, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition people, this is the last shot. Do you hear me? The last shot to get rid of this culture of corruption. We can do it. We can do it this year. And we're going to take a quick break. Rodger Cook just pulled up, as a matter of fact. He's going to come in. I'm going to give Rodger the floor, and I'm going to let Rodger discuss what he's going to do. I think Rodger Cook has been out here every day fighting for the people. Him and Carl Officer, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. They've been behind the scenes working on all kind of things to try to help the good people of St. Clair County. And they always say, don't give a damn if they're black or white. They don't give a damn if they're Democrats or Republican, men or women. They're people of St. Clair County. They want to serve Carl Officer, Rodger Cook, Dallas Cook, everybody on the Freedom Coalition ticket. They want to serve the people, not the politicians. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Tom Holbrook had a lot of calls. People want to know, are you going to defend yourself? And people, let me tell you, it's just allegations about pedophilia from someone who used to live with Tom Holbrook, Derek Wallace. It's all over the internet. So we have to give Tom Holbrook the benefit of the doubt. But Tom, people are asking, why will you not defend yourself? Why will you not sue this man if these nasty, salacious allegations aren't true? Got a lot of calls, Tom. Everybody's paying attention. And also, I want to say, Mark, the big faggot bard Kern, these health nuts, these people in the health industry, you know what they always say? They always say, you are what you eat. And I think that fits you very appropriately, Mark, the big faggot boy, if you know what I mean, and I certainly think you do. Also, Terry and Mickey Peters, two of our good friends. And Terry, I hope you're having a good time in Florida. Great people, the Peters family. With me, just walked in, and please, people, you know I'm a crazy, ignorant son of a bitch. And if you don't want to vote for me, I understand. Hell, I get all these hit pieces. I may not vote for myself. I don't know if I believe half that crap. I don't know if I'm going to vote for myself. But anyway, the disclaimer is always, Mr. Rodger Cook just came in. Don't hold anything I say against Rodger Cook. Don't hold anything that I do against Rodger Cook, like these Democratic culture corruption bastards who want to link everybody. And real quick, I want to apologize to the Dawson family. I'm sorry that I because of this situation, that you had to resurrect some bad memories and some sorrowful memories of your deceased son. But I want to tell you, I apologize. But I have to say, you no good, egregious son of a bitches, to take a picture of me and a family member at a funeral and try to link that gentleman with me politically. That's how no good, no count, low life, bottom feeding son of a bitches they are. Having said that, with me, Rodger Cook, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and you're the people's candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairmanship. Rodger, I'm going to let you have the floor, and I'm going to try to get Carl in and the rest of the candidates. I've asked Kern and all of them. Of course, they don't want to say anything about anything they've done because they haven't done anything. But you, Carl, you guys have always been transparent on the air. So I'm going to give you the floor to discuss some of your background and what you're going to do for the good people of St. Clair County once you're elected as chairman.
Hey, thank you, Bob. As you well know, this has been a long, tough last couple years building the Freedom Coalition along with Carl and the voice of this radio station. As I go door to door throughout the community, people thank us for sacrificing all this time to bring honest, open government back to St. Clair County. I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be prouder of all of our candidates and everybody working hard to bring this government back to we the people. It is our government. We expected exactly what's happened. When you have one-party rule with unchecked power, you make decisions based on what's best for the party, not the people. That's got to change. That's why I think each and every one of us here has worked so hard to end that. We will make every decision based on what's best for the people of St. Clair County. We have no strings attached. I assure you, Bob, nobody's going to tell Bob Romanik what to do. And anybody that knows Rodger Cook, when I took over and followed a Sprague-led administration in Belleville as mayor, I made great things happen simply because every decision I made was based on what was best for the people I served. You don't reduce taxes 4 years in a row. You don't reduce crime 4 years in a row. You don't lead the region in economic development and job creation my second, third, and fourth year. You don't open government up to the people by having the first printed agenda so people in Belleville knew what the council was going to be voting on Monday night. I put the council meetings on Continental Cable. We allowed public participation. We made government by the people, of the people, and for the people. And that's what I can do here in St. Clair County. We've got a lot of problems from mid-America airports to the stress in the courthouse of people worrying about their jobs because if they say one thing wrong, they're fired. We're going to end all that. We're going to bring government back to we the people. And let me ask you this, Bob. Is there anybody out there that can come up to you at any time and say, hey, Bob, you need to stop this. You need to stop that. You can't say this. You can't say that. I know I would never do that because of your position on the right to free speech. And you always talk about the veterans over in Jefferson Barracks that died and gave their all for your right to do that. And I assure you, when they put these hit pieces out on us, it doesn't bother me because I know who I am. As a cop, a detective, a homicide investigator, I was recognized by 3 different organizations as Police Officer of the Year. I got awards for solving homicides in other communities throughout the Metro East, and I'm very proud of who I am. There's nothing they can say. These are all lies, untruths, because they have no positive record to run on. And I put that in my flyer, my literature that I started putting out 6 months ago. And it's right on there because I knew they were going to do it. You knew the same thing. We're bigger men. You can't change history. You can't change who I am. I'm a young man who grew up without a dad at 5 years old, had a strong mother who said, don't feel sorry for yourself, make your own way. And I listened to her, and she was always there for me. She sacrificed for us children, and that's what made me the man I am. And I think, Bob, in a lot of ways, you're that kind of man too. To say something about free speech. You know, you say what you want. I'm not somebody who attacks people personally.
Rodger, let me interrupt you here. People, Roger Cook has walked in when I've said some stuff that I know he didn't like, and I saw his head curl a little bit, and I saw his eyes get a little quenchy. But Roger Cook, being a true, proud American, has never said, Bob Romanik, don't say that, don't do that. That's what a man does. A man will let another man do what he wants. He doesn't have to agree with it, and I'm sure, Roger, you don't agree with a lot of things I say, but I think you agree with most of the things that I do. But I want to salute you because you're that kind of man, and we've talked. And you know what Roger Cook told me, people? He said, Bob, if I'm elected, I'm going through that courthouse, and I'm going to get advice from everybody. I'm not going to be too good not to take advice from everybody. Unlike Kern, who's going to be on the 5th floor, who's got it all secured. He's more secured than the judges. They've got locks and chains and everything on the 5th floor. Roger Cook said he'll be out in the St. Clair County courthouse community day in and day out. He says he's going to sit down and talk, not to the elected officials, but the workers in St. Clair County. And Roger, I think that's what we need all throughout this county. That's what you've done through this election cycle. That's what I've done. That's what Carl Officer's done. And that's what the people deserve. They need common people. They need people to represent them. And the only people that can represent them are people that feel like them, that have lived like them, that know them. And these ass-white bastards sit in these ivory towers in Belleville, the Kerns, the Spriggs, all of them. They don't know the real people, but you do, and I want to salute you because you've never once in this whole time, and I know you've cringed, never once say, Bob, you shouldn't have said that because you're like me. You love our proud military that died to give me the right to speak free, and you don't want to stop that. I don't want to stop that, but these bastards in Belleville do.
Bob, I'm going to tell you this. I know what a good leader does. He leads by example, by his work ethic, his honesty, his transparency. And I also know, as a mayor of Belleville, who does the work. It's the rank and file people. And you know what? I had a great relationship with everybody. They did their job. All I ask is work hard, do your job, serve the people, and we're all a team. And we've got to build a team up there of people that can work in an environment that are respected. I will bring in department heads that are qualified, that respect their employees, and encourage them and help them in any way to do the job what's best for we the people. So that's number one. Number two, you know, I've been to Washington, D.C. already talking about NGA, Metro East Levy District, and especially Mid-America Airport. I'm going to be ready on day one to address that Mid-America Airport. I'm going to try to push it, the oversight over to the elected county board members who represent the people and are elected, not appointed board by me. So people in the airport over at Mid-America Airport do what I want. I'm not an aviation expert, but I will surround myself with aviation experts, people with backgrounds, and we will address that. And I've got a plan for that. I pitched it up there a month ago. And as soon as I'm elected on November 8th, one of the first calls I'll make is to a person up there to set up some meetings, and we'll make a difference right there. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, when we talked before, you know, you and Carl sit down with the Freedom Coalition. You guys formed the Freedom Coalition, which represents everybody. It's a patriotic movement, not a political party. But I like what you and Carl have put together, and Carl said he'd assist in any way, that you're going to have monthly town hall meetings, that you're going to go all throughout St. Clair County. You're not going to make people come and try to get an appointment when they're not working, that you're going to have monthly town hall meetings to bring people together, to let people tell you what they want done, your bosses. And I'll tell you, how refreshing is that after these no good son of a bitches won't come on the radio, they won't be transparent, they won't answer your calls. and they never go throughout the community. But Rodger, see, you're that kind of guy. You're a people person, and for you to say that you're going to have town hall meetings each month in different areas to get the feel and the play from the people and see what they want instead of what the politicians want, I think that's very, very refreshing.
Well, as you know, on day one, we're going to be so busy, Bob. I followed a Sprague-led administration. There's a lot of things we're going to have to clean up quick. We're going to get rid of government waste. We're going to make government transparent. We're going to have to be bringing in qualified individuals for these positions, and it'll be very busy. So it may be on weekends we have to do that to start.
Well, sure.
But
sure.
There's nothing more transparent than once you're elected, being out in the community. I'm not going to be sitting up there in the ivory tower. I'm going to be out marketing, selling St. Clair County. Let me touch this point. As you know, as a former cop, we have nothing unless we have safety and security. If you've got crime running rampant throughout St. Clair County in certain areas and it's not addressed, you're not going to create good schools. You're not going to have businesses move in, and your property value is going to go down. And that is going to be a focus of mine. It was when I ran as a police officer. We had 3 cars on the street from 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. When I took office, we put 13 to 15 cars on the street. We reduced crime, and we made this place safe. That's why a large part I was able to be successful in economic development.
Rodger, I'll tell you what, I don't want to wind you too much. Let's take a quick break. We're with Rodger Cook. He's going to be back. If somebody wants to give a call, you're more than welcome to. But, Rodger, before we go, I'm going to segue into this. 2 more police officers were killed last night. Now, I got to say, and you being a police officer, Carl being around law enforcement, if it would have been a bum that was shot by a professional police officer, it would have been front page. It would have been riots in the street. What's wrong with us as people? 2 police officers killed. I could not even find that in the newspaper today. 2 police officers killed. 2 police officers that were protecting us, the public, that aren't going home to their families last night. And you don't see it anywhere, Rodger. And I know I'm pro-police 1,000%. I know you and Carl are. And I promise, as a state representative, I'll do everything in my power to help every first responder in this great state, because they never get the accolades and the pats on the back that they need and deserve.
Bob, and it's gut-wrenching when I seen that on the news early this morning. How many times at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, as a young patrol officer, I was out there, and I would park my car and write my reports because I'd have to turn them in the morning when I come in. These men are ambushed and just killed for no reason. And I'll tell you what.
Where's the public outcry? Come on, public. Where's the damn outcry?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I every time I see a police officer, man, I say, be careful. I didn't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And my heart goes out for them.
Well, I do too, and we just want to acknowledge that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Carl Officer, we're going to let him try to interject some of his thoughts with the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and we'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's by-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting at its finest. America's by-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. My good friend Carl Officer been sitting here a few minutes. Rodger had to make a quick run. He's got meetings to go to because he's fighting the fight for you good people Carl Officer, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and you're the people's candidate for St. Clair County Coroner. Carl, how the hell you doing today, buddy?
Well, good morning, Bob.
Good
How
morning.
you doing, buddy?
I'm doing a little bit better today.
Well, I'm fantastic. I'm very proud of talking to our team members from Cahokia, Gary Carnwell, Ed Cockrell from out New Athens, Dallas Cook here in Belleville, Laninia Kaysen here in Belleville, and of course, Rodger and I have been working diligently all throughout the county. We got a great meeting we're going to tonight down in Freeburg, and I'm looking forward to being down in Freeburg at 6 o'clock this evening. And I heard Rodger talking about the airport. That's one issue, but there's a broader issue. Yesterday morning, I listened to your radio broadcast, and you had the gentleman who's running for Madison County Board. And I think he made a significant conversation when he said that he led the fight, he and some other people, to reduce the property taxes in Madison County. And he said for a $100,000 home, it may only be a nickel per $100. He said maybe $16, $17 a year on a $100,000 home. I know full well that the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition has been looking at this for St. Clair County for at least the last 6 months. And the reality is this: if we don't have to spend $15 million of your hard-earned tax dollars at the airport, if we could spend some of that money and give it back to the taxpayers of St. Clair County, and the hardcore reality is that right now we don't know if it's more than $15 million, because we won't know that until we get a real auditor in St. Clair County to look at the books. We don't know how much money we're being mishandled in St. Clair County. And until we get a state representative, somebody in Springfield, who can look at the hard issues about what it takes to get the state assistance. How much money is the state of Illinois pouring into Mid-America Airport? How much money is,
Well, no, not state of Illinois. That's our tax dollars, Mayor.
Yeah, I understand. That's what I'm saying. But so I think that we need to have every member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, that's where I'm going with this. Taxpayers, voters, you need to elect the Freedom Coalition candidates next Tuesday. These are men and women who are not looking for a job, but looking to serve. We can't serve you if you don't elect us. We're doing pretty doggone good on our own, but we can do great things for you and for each other as members of this greater community called St. Clair County. It is amazing to me how people have come together from small rural communities like Summerfield and poor urban communities like Brooklyn, Illinois. They've come together. They've always had this division that you can't talk to people in the outer county, and people in the outer county can't talk to people in the inner city. Why not? The only reason we've been separated is because we've had racist political leaders, black and white, who have found it to be their own gain. They kept us apart because it kept them rich. They kept us apart because it kept them in power. They kept us apart because it kept them keeping their foot on our necks and our backs. Right now, that is completely out of the window after we formed this Freedom Coalition. I'm seeing men and women who are right now so very, very proud to be able to walk hand in hand. We don't always agree on everything, but we agree to be civil with one another and to be honest to each other. That's a lot more than you've got out of government in the last 25, 30 years here in St. Clair County. And I think that Rodger's leadership as the county board chairman, I think Ed Cockrell looking and reviewing fair taxes for the people of St. Clair County, the only qualified person to be on the board of review. And I look at Bob, you've heard me say this 100 times about you. You're never going to lie to me. You never have. I don't know what I need in a representative if he's going to lie to me about this vote or that vote. At the end of the day, you've got to go to Springfield to represent the people of the 114th district. You can't run the state of Illinois. You just have to represent the people that elected you. And it seems to me, I've never known anybody running for public office in this area that says they're going to go to Springfield, not take the per diem, the gas money every day, not going to take the salary, not going to take the insurance, and not going to take the pension. My God, is that an unrevolutionary thing to say? And we're going to turn our back on someone like that to represent us? And I know full well that if you're complaining about the governor and the Speaker of the House, that means you have got the people and the people only at heart and in mind. You're not going to let anybody run over the 114th legislative district. That is a reality. And it doesn't make any difference about being Democrat or Republican. It's about being right for the people that you represent. Finally, I must simply say, you've been asking me to talk about the coroner's office. There's only really 3 issues in the coroner's office as far as I'm concerned. One, I want to make it a medical examiner. I don't think that I need a political job. In 4 years, we ought to be able to get rid of the St. Clair County Coroner's Office and have a professional medical examiner's office. Now, I've got to be the only politician ever advocating to get rid of my office before I even want it. But I think that that's a logical, honest thing to do. Second, I think that when it comes down to being the coroner for St. Clair County, there's nobody even in the ball game with me in terms of credentials. And then thirdly and finally, I understand the compassion and the pain and the suffering of death every day. Death is my business. That's what I deal with day in and day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And really, that's what the coroner's on duty all the time. But it's more than just dealing with the death. There's the pain of not having a death certificate, not having it properly filed, and getting those things. I know that backwards and forward. I don't have to hit the ground and get some training or go and get permission from the county board chairman or the chairman of the Democratic Party. I will represent you as an honest, dedicated professional with dignity and compassion. Vote for the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition candidates. We are far and above, heads and shoulders, our opponents.
Mr. Carl Officer, your candidate, the people's candidate for St. Clair County Coroner, and also the co-chairman and co-founder of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. The Freedom Coalition, a patriotic movement, not a political party, a patriotic movement to help all the people of St. Clair County. And you're right, Carl. If I'm elected state representative, I'm going to go up and upset the apple cart. I don't dress like a politician. I don't act like a politician. I don't talk like a politician because I'm not a politician. I'll go up there. It'll be the craziest crap you ever saw because being politically correct is no good. Even being politically incorrect is no good. I'll go up there politically insane. And in passing, Bob Romanik, I don't think such a bad guy. Mark the big faggot boy Kern. How about all your actions, if you know what I mean, you faggot boy, and I think you do. And Mr. Mr. Haney Holbrook. What about all those egregious, nasty, alleged acts, the alleged acts of shame and disgrace? And Bob Romanik's a bad guy? I don't think so, people. Derek Wallace is challenging you, Mr. Haney Holbrook, and says if what he's saying is not true, you should sue him. And I would sue him for those egregious allegations. I would sue him yesterday. The ball's in your court, Tom Holbrook. In my opinion, you are a nasty, dirty, filthy son of a bitch, in my opinion. But see, those are those bad guys. They don't want to talk about what's in their closets. They don't want to talk about all the bad things they've done and not been caught doing. They want to talk about Bob Romanik. Go ahead, you hypocritical bastards, because Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, is going to get you, going to destroy you politically, of course. And we're going to help everyone in St. Clair County realize a better way of life. A better way of life when you don't have to kiss these politicians' asses, when you don't have to look up to these no-good son of a bitches. They're pieces of crap, people. Let's change history November the 8th. Let's throw this St. Clair County Democratic cultural corruption out of office. And let's put in some people that'll fight for you. Not perfect people, but people that'll fight for you and not give and take as politicians. This is Bob Romanik. Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. November the 8th is drawing near, people. We have to get out and vote. Everyone, every vote will count. If the good people, the proud people of St. Clair County get out and vote, not Democrats, not Republicans, not women, men and women, and not black and white, but true Americans, we can change this county and start changing this state in our country. It hasn't worked in the last 50 years. Don't let these ass white bastards tell you they're going to do more the next 4 years. You will get more. You'll get screwed more and more by these rotten bastards. So let's continue to unite, to expose these rotten bastard political parasitical punks, these perverted political punks that we call politicians. In November the 8th, 2016, let's make history. Let's put some normal, everyday, not perfect people in office like all of us. Let's put us in office, not them, the corrupt politicians. It can be done. Let's destroy them on November the 8th. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.